Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are doing a replay review with Mr. SpyCreed, and there will be no sound from Warcraft because yes, everything is bugged now, but it will be fine. We can hear SpyCreed. That's very important. So, so let me open my thing to note. So, Mr. SpyCreed, can me tell you some things about scouting versus orc? I know that scouting versus orc is very important, and actually, I saw interesting approach from Happy. So when he plays Springtime, and he sees that orc is creeping with Blade Master the first camp, Happy will go for the middle and creep the middle. So and it's
Yes.
because we saw it with the scouting acolyte, right? So let's focus on Farseer harass. So what we do if we see that Farseer is harassing, and should we try to, I mean, is it possible to save the acolyte? Because like the wolves are fast, and I feel like even sending one wolf can finish our acolyte, and we would like to save the acolyte for many reasons. So how should we exactly scout? How should close we get to the Farseer, and can you save your acolyte in like often?
Yeah. So the scouting acolyte can't always survive for many reasons. It depends on many things. The distance between your base and his base. It depends also on how fast you kill the critter that you will use to summon the skeletons at the start of the game. So when you arrive at the orc base, you can arrive early,
Okay.
or you can arrive late.
Yeah,
If
so
you arrive
on
late,
tight
then it's
hunters,
gonna die
on,
most of the times.
on tight hunters, we need to go back to kill the crab in front of like sea giant camp,
Yeah,
right?
there is one thing to say, because orc can go for multiple strategies. Even if you don't see the barrack,
Okay.
it doesn't mean it's not gonna be at hunters,
Yes, it
because
can
there
be
is
fast
this.
tech double barak.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it can be fast tech double barrack, or of course it
Just
can be
barak.
double bestiary, of course.
Or sometimes even
Uh,
hitman style, right? So they will go fast tech, one barak, and with still try hero, right? With Farseer,
yeah,
harass, TC, shadow hunter.
yeah. So my approach in this case, when you don't see a barrack, is to, if you can, save your acolyte, but don't send back your acolyte to your base. Just stick close to the orc base, and when his tier 2 is gonna finish, so you need to think when the his tier 2 is gonna finish, you check if he made a barrack or if he's going for double bestiary. So you don't pull the acolyte back, you just leave it there to
Okay.
check what he's doing.
Okay, so let's go to with the game to this moment. So on tight hunters, of course, we are scouting with acolyte number 6. So let's go to this moment. We always open with the ghouls. And you know, I'm not going to ask you about every single detail because, for example, base layout, maybe it's like Lajuk is always telling me that it's like too vast, you know, too big. That I'm losing gold by making buildings in front.
So building like this is good because you spread the blight, of course. But at the same time, if you face some weird strategies with bat riders, wyverns, etc., those buildings are not in range of the towers, and they are probably gonna fall at some point.
Yes, but I would
That
say that they are only bad versus like Omega Lame, like Bad Rider Raider, but like versus just Wyverns, we are not afraid of buildings, right? We are afraid of acolytes, so.
yeah, of course.
So it's like
Of course.
I see this point, but like in many games, like usually orcs is not going for building eliminations, right? Of course, it can happen, and
Yeah,
then
most orcs don't go for building elimination, but if you meet like like 3-4 days, I think I met no, even 1 week ago, I met Loliat as undead. I mean, it was undead mirror.
okay,
I managed to win. It was probably his worst of race. And
okay.
then I met him as orc, and he started blaming the shit out of me. He made expansions everywhere, and it was like bat rider lemming all the time.
He took a revenge, right?
He took he took his revenge. It was 2 consecutive games. So it's not wrong to build like this, because the chance that you will meet bat rider lamers, it's quite low. unless you play like Woody Wood and you know that something like this is gonna happen.
Yes, with Mr. Woodywood, of course, the how we build our bait is important. Base. Okay, so I will just post on actually on Undead channel on Gym that we are doing this thing because I think it can be a good value that you are coaching me. Okay, so SpyCreed. So how do you say name? SpyCreed, right? SpyCreed?
SpyCreed.
So no SpyCreed. Okay,
No,
SpyCreed.
no SpyCreed.
Okay, SpyCreed coaching me Undead. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Mr. SpyCreed. So let's speed up. So I'm going to scout. And first question I'm going to ask you. So let's rate what we are going to see together. Okay, and how should I approach? And of course, it depends on the map, right?
Yes.
So we will talk about the Nerubian Tower and timing and so on. Okay, so I'm approaching, and I don't see Barak. I already know. I don't see Shop, so it's probably not Blade Master. So it's probably going to be Farseer. That's my guess.
Exactly. It's gonna be Blade or Farseer Arras, but you know for sure that it's gonna be an Arras because it cannot creep.
Yes. So basically now I should put my Acolyte like here. That's my idea.
No. The best
to run away. Okay.
Yeah, you either run away on the right or on the left. The most important thing is to when the Farseer comes out of the altar, he shouldn't see the Acolyte. Okay, so you should try to save the Acolyte.
Yes, because like
the best you can.
I can the range that gives me vision from the Acolyte is bigger than the range that Farseer has to attack, right? So basically I should hide.
So you just pull you just hide the Acolyte on the left or on top, and you just wait for tier 2 to finish to understand what he's doing.
Okay, so now I have a question. First, like a question that answer I can actually write down because it interests me. So I have decision. I can creep like many camps here. So should I creep something smaller, or because I know it's going to be harass, or because like this camp is like
you don't care. You don't care it's harass. In this case, you go for the orange with the cliff guy. Yeah.
Okay, so we never basically creep something smaller because we know it's Farseer. It's still better to creep something bigger because we should have enough time, right?
Yeah, you should have enough time.
Okay, and what about the timing of the Ziggurat then? The Nerubian Tower?
Go forward with the replay, and I will tell you the exact time.
Okay.
So, do you usually sell your TP or do you keep it?
Well, I'm watching only Happy replays, and Happy is selling his TP always. Sometimes he saves TP when he plays Undead Mirror, Tedfins. Then he sometimes doesn't sell.
Yeah, it happens.
But sometimes he sells. On console, he sold in Tedfins Mirror. So yeah, I'm selling always. Right.
Yeah, if you want to play as Happy, then you should sell. Yeah, you should sell TP, and you can do Ghoul and the Nerubian Tower almost at the same time. You give priority to the Ghoul, and then you make Arcane Tower. So you queue another Ghoul after this one, and then you make the Nerubian Tower. Okay. So the Nerubian Tower right now is a bit early.
Bit early, okay. How many? Okay, so my before we answer Mr. Vess question from chat, because like if the smaller the camp, the better position of the critter, we can sometimes take 2 ghouls, right? But versus Farseer Harass, I always take 3 ghouls. Like almost on every map, because I want to creep a little bit faster, you know, to be ready for the faster. So would you say that taking like 3 ghouls is always standard versus harassing orc? Or you can name a map where you take 2 ghouls? Yeah,
there are some maps where you can take 2 ghouls. For example, on this map, if you are going for the orange, then you need to pick 3 ghouls because it's a tough camp with the cliff guy. So when the Farseer comes, you need to be like you should be able to send your ghouls back without using your mana. The more mana you use, the worse it is because it's harder to creep. Last Refuge, for example, is a map where you can go for 2 ghouls.
If you have good critter, because it also depends, right?
Yeah, it depends on the critter as well. You should summon the critter even if the critter is far away, most of the times. If you feel like it's into another camp, because sometimes critters have this strange behavior when they enter other in the range of other camps, then you should always pull free ghouls. On maps like Concealed Hills, it's another map where you go for the close camp to your base, like the two trolls and the ogre. In that case, you go for free ghouls as well, because it's
Yeah, on
a
concealed
tougher camp.
critter, yeah. First of all, critter is very rarely in good position, and sometimes it's just too far away, right? So,
Yeah, in that case, you always pull free ghouls. Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Vess is asking chat, when I'm facing Farseer, I often struggle against players who don't try to creepjag me, but rather go straight into my acolytes. In this case, should I go back to base or continue creeping? And Mr. Vess is about the first camp, right? And
Okay, so if he is going for your acolytes, then you need to wait in your base until the Nerubian is up, of course,
no,
because
no,
otherwise you will lose ghouls.
but
Otherwise you will
usually
lose
Usually
acolytes.
Farseer arrives when we already like half done with the camp, right? So we should always start creeping. We can't wait, right? For the Farseer never.
That's for sure. You mean immediately? It's fine. You can finish the camp with the ghouls and the skeletons, and you just run back with
Yeah.
the DK.
Because like one of the most important skills, I would say, defensive skills of undead is to know how to move your acolytes inside of your base. For example, with human, you need to know how to move militia. You know, like when to pull, you need to be good at pulling better red HP militia to the gold mine, not to the wood. You know, stuff like that. But I feel like with undead, if you are playing versus happy. And Happy can be like, let's say it's like a challenge. How many acolytes can Happy save with 2 ghouls and 1 Nerubian tower versus Farseer and Wolves level 1? And I think the answer is every single acolyte, because Happy will just run with them in the crazy direction, slow down everything. I mean, not everything. You can slow 2 units, right? If you change the target of 1 Nerubian tower and kill the wolves, block the wolves with the ghouls and so on, right? So I think like versus Farseer, just Farseer with 2 wolves, if you have Nerubian, that every single acolyte should be saved until you finish the first camp, and then you come back, and then you can maybe even coil once if the situation looks bad, but still you are 1 camp ahead. Do you agree with this approach?
Yeah, if the Farseer wants to kill the acolytes, if he wants to harass your acolytes while the Nerubian is active, with just wolves, you should be able to creep and juggle your acolytes at the same time. If he's trying to kill your acolytes at all costs, so if both Farseer and wolves are in the tower range, then you should try to surround the Farseer. That's the standard approach.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the approach.
Okay, Mr. Vess is asking about offensive Nerubian tower as we used to
No,
do versus Keeper. What do you think
no,
about
no,
like
no, no.
tower like Keeper?
Against Keeper, I can see the reason why you want to um, you want to place a Nerubian tower in front, and it's usually a good strategy. But even the base layout should be different in that case. You should put the crypt and the altar
Yeah, on the edges, right? To
on
make
the
the
edges.
entry smaller, right? So,
Yeah, there should be no entry on between the trees and the
yes,
building.
yes. So he
The
can sneak.
Nerubian, yeah, he cannot sneak. He will always sneak because he can make force of nature trees. But um, yeah, you should put a Nerubian tower in front if you know that you're facing a keeper player. Then it's good. But in most situations against most races, it's better to have the Nerubian tower in the back, because let's say that in this case you put the Nerubian in front. It will just send the wolves on the farthest acolyte, and the
In the
Nerubian
back.
tower is not in range. Yeah, in the back, and the Nerubian is not in range. So you will have a harder time to juggling your acolytes.
And also, what I would like to point out. Oh, fellow Mr. Avril. Mr. Avril with a donation for Makura Postam. Thank you, Mr. Avril, for 10 Polish złotych. So, thank you, thank you. There is no voice because everything is bugged, but we can hear Mr. SpyCreed. That matters. And for the viewers, 10 Polish złotych is like around 2 euros. So, thank you for that. And Mr. Avril will receive a Makura via Polish postmail. So, Mr. SpyCreed, I would like to highlight one more important point for every undead player, and I'm trying to master it. Sending low HP ghouls to the back of your base, right? Because if we have red HP ghoul and let's say Farseer is coming to creepjack us, just Farseer wolves, we can send like half HP ghoul back. Farseer maybe will hit it once or twice, and we put a ghoul like here on this tree, right? Because basically it's the most safe position, even though this ghoul is not going to gather wood very efficiently, right? Usually Farseer won't send 2 wolves. If Farseer only send 1 wolf after this red HP ghoul, then we have Nerubian Tower and we can just run in the circle, right? So that's why I feel like putting Nerubian Tower in the back, the standard Nerubian Tower position, is also good not only to protect your acolytes, but also to have this safe space for red HP ghouls. That's my point, right? Because if you don't do it, you have in front Nerubian Tower, then it's much harder to save the ghouls in the back, because you never know when the wolf is in range or not. You don't know how to exactly run away with the ghouls, and I think it's a good habit to...
Yeah, this is a good point, yeah.
And sometimes, if you make a full wall of, then if you play versus Blade Master, then Blade Master simply can't kill the ghoul for the most time, right? Or even, it's very hard for Blade Master to enter when you have a tight base. So yes, but to not overcomplicate things, so you think that this Acolyte was too close, right? Too close to the Farseer, because like he already sent 1 wolf after me.
Yeah, the Acolyte is dead, but it's fine. You can also scout with a skeleton.
Yeah, but I sometimes like to save this Acolyte, with the ghoul build, we are not supply blocked often, right? When we play Ted Fiends, having this scouting acolyte is problematic at some point, right? Because you can't feed a fiend. I don't remember exactly when. I think it's like with your second
when you reach tier 2, you are 26 food with the acolyte, and you
exactly.
Cannot build
But with the ghoul opener, this one additional acolyte doesn't it's not a big problem food-wise usually.
Yeah, I will tell you one more thing about the scouting acolyte. If you can save the scouting acolyte, it's actually very, very good, because when you reach tier 2, there is this you can go for a sacrificial pit. The sacrificial pit is actually very strong for the shade, because you can actually use the scouting acolyte that you saved. And if you have level 3, versus Orc. If you have, especially it's especially good against Wyverns. Yeah, because you just take this shade, place it on the Farseer, and you know if your opponent is going for like a tier 2 expansion, if he's going for tier 3, if he's creeping a very hard camp, if he's going for a very hard camp, and this actually happens a lot, you can just go there and call Nova what is low HP. You can also steal creeps. Yeah, knowledge is power. So
okay, so
it's good.
Because versus Night Elf is different. When we save scouting acolyte versus Night Elf, I saw Happy sometimes or other undeads going for tier 2 expansion because of the scouting acolyte usually, because it opens you the opportunity to expand. Easy, right? You need to start. You can start expansion when your tier 2 is almost done, because you have already this acolyte, one additional. So
yes, exactly.
Versus Night Elf, it opens you the opportunity to expand. And yes, I never do it, but if you have a healthy lumber economy and sacrificial pit is like mostly lumber, then we have already this one acolyte that we can turn into the shade. And what would you say when exactly? I mean, what is the order? So this sacrificial pit, I feel like it should be like after we Q Leech, after we Q tier 3, after we Q Slaughterhouse, the last thing, right?
Yeah, the last thing, when if you have enough lumber, of course, because if you use your ghouls a lot during between tier 1 and tier 2, it's not guaranteed that you will have the lumber after doing all the things that you need to do. What are the things that you need to do? Tier 3, Leech, Slaughterhouse, and Ziggurat. Those are mandatory. And then, if you have a lot of lumber, it's fine, you can go for a sacrificial pit, since the pit costs only 75 gold.
And we have already acolytes. So,
And you already have the acolyte, so you have actually a use for the scouting acolyte.
okay, perfect. So let's come back to this replay. So I'm taking 3 ghouls. So I think
Yeah.
that's standard. The acolyte is sadly dead, so no sacrificial pit. And I'm already upgrading the ziggurat. Because I upgraded ziggurat, as I said, mostly because I feel safer when I put the ghoul back, right? But
Yeah,
I
it's
think
fine.
it doesn't cost us much.
You need to take at some point, because you will need it, the sacrificial dagger, the ritual dagger. Because you will need to heal what is low. Many Farseer players just hit the decay and force you back for some time, so you need to use the sacrificial dagger, the ritual dagger to heal.
Okay, a small question. Do you coil creep to start creeping, or you rather heal your ghoul with a coil?
I prefer to always coil the first creep.
Offensively.
Yeah, offensively.
To reduce the damage output of the camp and to creep faster before
especially
arrives.
especially on this camp, because there is this I don't know.
Pulverize, sea giant.
Yeah, there is this sea giant that has a frontal con cleave, where it's time based. So after some time that you engage the camp, it will do the cleave. So you need to kill it fast. So in this case, you should stop your ghouls and skeletons. Have your decay. The decay has to be the first to enter the camp, so you can already hit with your highest damage unit, so you can kill it fast.
Okay, but you know, to make skeletons, my Death Knight need to stop a little bit, and I'm already pulling the ghouls. So you think it's still worth to wait a little bit with pulling ghouls to make sure to attack with the Death Knight first? It's your point.
I prefer to engage camps with the DK. It's fine if your hero takes some damage at the beginning. I prefer to have all my 5 units, in this case skeletons and ghouls, at high HP.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So let's see if I will coil. Okay, so there is a mistake that I'm not coiling here because I'm waiting to coil the ghoul, and we are taking more damage than we are killing.
In this case, you're already taking damage on the ghoul. If you start with the DK, you will be taking damage on the DK, and all your stuff will be high HP, of course. And it's always better because right now you need to spend 1 coil.
Yes, I should start with the. So it's bad creeping by me, basically.
Because this is the worst. It's not the worst case scenario, but you have a low HP ghoul that it's probably not gonna survive if the Farseer comes to you.
It's going to survive, but it will cost me the coil, right? So
exactly, and it's very bad. You should always use only 1 coil for the first camp, if possible.
Okay, and hello to Mr. Ina in chat. Okay, so tanking on the Death Knight, like 30% of my Death Knight should be missing, so I save the coil, second coil especially. So yes, I use the coil already. Farseer is here, so I'm pulling the ghoul, but he's going for the ghoul, and okay, so I managed to save this ghoul without coiling, but who's a coach? Mr. Beetlebaum on the SpyCreed, you see on the bottom left on the screen. So basically, if I creep better, I would basically save 1 coil, and I would have a little bit less HP on my Death Knight. Okay, my question is what we are doing now. And by the way, look, he pulled the creep. He pulled the creep with the wolf, so it's a little bit a weird game. But basically what I'm doing now, that's what I'm doing.
Why are the wolves so small?
Because we paused in the weird moment. Maybe because it was hit by the tower. I don't know.
Strange behavior.
Yes, strange behavior. But now I usually put my skeletons and hero on the Farseer. I pull the ghouls to wood, and I went until I have my enough lumber to tech. What would you do in this situation when you know it's a fast tech?
In this case, I will just pull back and I will just pull back. I will make the second set of skeletons, and I will try to wait. Not that green. The one with the turtle. Yeah, the turtles is better.
Okay. Because I feel like those skeletons are going to expire soon, right? So I'm always putting.
Yeah, it's fine. You can also leave the skeletons on the Farseer for now. My approach against Farseer Aras is to have usually 2 ghouls on the Farseer and everything else goes into creeping the camp.
Yeah, but it's
That's
already
because,
after the tech, right?
yeah, after the tech. Most of the time it's after the tech, yeah.
Okay, so now we are waiting for wood, and now
Okay,
is
you
it
should not attack in this case. Never attack, because your priority is to get lumber for your tier 2.
okay, so now
So you should just ignore the the wolf attacking you. You just go for the
you know
for gathering lumber.
this ghoul is kinda was a little bit. There's one, we have one AFK ghoul. This ghoul followed the creep, so yes, micro mistakes, but yes, the idea. Wait for the lumber, and I need a lot of lumber actually, because I made a Nerubian and I pulled 3 ghouls and 1 ghoul is AFK. But yes, it's not the end of the world. The ghouls are not
It's fine.
dying.
It's fine. If this happens, like a ghoul is FK, etc., you should just wait in your base
Yeah.
and gather enough lumber. You should also buy the sacrificial dagger, the ritual dagger. I always mess up the names.
Okay, my question is, I mostly I know that it's going to be Wyverns when I see fast tech. Of course, we can confirm with the scouting. My question is, let's assume it's Wyverns 100%. How many ghouls I should make?
You should stop at 28 food. 28 food. I
So 2
think
more
it's
ghouls.
9 ghouls in total.
Because
So
one is in
it's
production. Okay, so 9 ghouls.
yes,
So we have 3. Now one is in production already, so we have 7 and plus
and
4
2 more.
food, so 9 ghouls.
And
Right.
one more thing, if you lose one, you don't remake. If you lose 2, you can decide if to remake 1 or to stay at 24 food. You don't remake ghouls because your timing needs to be very precise. You need to go at tier 3 immediately. You need your second year immediately. You can't delay things. So if you lose 1 ghoul, you don't remake it. Just go follow your plan. That's what I mean.
And yes, Mr. Vets is pointing out that, of course, Orc can fake Wyverns, but usually then when Orc is going not air, so it's either going Headhunters or some even Taurens. There's this new addition of Taurens versus Ghouls. We still go for mass melee, right? So we don't make a single feint. So either is, as you said, 9 Ghouls or mass melee. Can we agree? So 9 ghouls versus air, and versus everything else we go
against
mass melee.
Farseer, yeah, against Farseer, it's most of the times better to go for ghouls, so mass melee. But if you're facing Blade Master, you can decide if to go for ghouls or for fiends. It's usually better to go for ghouls.
Yeah, but
most
we are
cases.
following Happy on this channel, like seeing Happy playing fiends versus versus Orc is like
not
never,
recently.
not recently.
Yeah, not recently. But there was like when the page came out with the Cryptor buff. I think I saw some games of Happy against Orc where he started playing like against Night Elf. He makes 2 fiends for the 50 foot timing, and he goes for Cryptor third. So he actually switches to fiends with the idea of going later on for Banshees. But that was when Windwalk was still meta against Undead. Now with Mirror Image, it's actually different. You need to Banshees are not actually good against Mirror Image.
Yeah,
Because you can
Banshees were
just display it.
nerfed, the curse duration by half, so. And Mr. Funlex is trying to set up a match between you, SpyCreed, and Ina. So for now, ladies and gentlemen, we are using Mr. SpyCreed knowledge to learn me how to play better Undead. So
Mr. Fansex.
Fansex, yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So Mr. SpyCreed. Now, important moment. Okay, so Mr. Vest, we have a lot of questions from the chat. If fencing Wyverns, do you buy the Wand of Negation? So, okay, Mr. SpyCreed, we can answer this question now. When do we buy Wand of Negation versus Wyverns? Because I saw Happy when he was like very late in tech and Farseer was level 3. Then I saw Happy buying Wand of Negation versus Orc to help versus Wolves on level 2 and versus Hex, because usually Wand of Negation almost always when Shadow Hunter is a second hero. Do I recognize this situation correctly?
Yes, but if you can avoid buying Wand of Negation, it's better because I think it's 150 gold, right? I don't
I don't
remember.
even know, maybe 200 even. So very expensive, right?
Okay, yeah, it's very expensive. I think it's 150 gold.
Okay, let me check.
You should most of the times avoid to buy that item. It's not that I mean it's good. It's good, especially against the X focus, and but you should always try to not buy it if possible.
150. And also I feel if I have my Wand of Negation on the Death Knight, they are usually hexing my Death Knight, right? So I
So
need to
if you
put...
have mana on your decay, then it's better to to have the Wand of Negation on your leech, because you can always heal the leech if the leech gets like X. If the DK is low mana, then it's the opposite.
So okay, so that makes sense. And yes, I'm not going to buy Wand of Negation in this game. Okay, so now we can tag soon, and my question is, do we take now all
Yeah,
the
you pull
ghouls?
everything. You pull
Okay,
everything.
okay, all the ghouls, and we basically go to the creep camp, whatever you see that it's better
Yeah,
to
with the
go here,
turtle.
and
So
we will. Mhm.
while you move to the green camp with the turtles, uh, you should have two ghouls on the Farseer, and the rest goes to the camp. Even the DK goes to the camp. If
Okay.
the Farseer is close, then you move the DK to the Farseer again. Okay, you should always creep with the skeletons so they tank damage and your ghouls don't get hurt.
Okay, that's a good point. Okay, so let me write it down. Okay, so uh, uh, ghouls, two ghouls on FS, tank with skeletons. So ghouls on FS while creeping. Creeping
Just
under
two ghouls.
pressure, under pressure.
Yeah.
Yes, two ghouls. And coil the camp first. Okay, so I have it written down. Okay, I have a little bit more detailed question for now. So it happened to me on ladder that basically I was like, oh, maybe I won't creep under pressure because it was different map, a little bit weird camp. And basically, I started my graveyard too early, I think, and in kinda in front position, and Farseer just cancelled my graveyard. So since then, I'm basically waiting with the graveyard until I'm starting the camp, so I know that Farseer is like on me, not in my base. So can you comment about like when to start graveyard basically versus Farseer?
Um, your graveyard should be before the third ziggurat. If your graveyard gets cancelled too many times, you auto lose the game,
Yes.
automatic, because if Farseer, Shadowhunter, and a few Wyverns are out, they can just constantly cancel the graveyard, and you don't have a single way to come back into the game because you can't make Spirit Towers, Gargoyles, nothing. So it's important to have the graveyard in a position where it's safe, so it should not be too exposed.
Okay.
When you make it, you should reach 28 food of ghouls, then make
Okay.
the graveyard, and then you go for the
Okay.
for the
28
next ziggurat.
food, then grave, then zig. But sometimes, producing ghouls is like not that fast, so you can have spare gold sometimes. And I'm not in position to buy second rod of necromancy anyway yet, so sometimes just make this early graveyard because I can still afford it. But I see a mistake already that I'm not producing ghouls fast enough because it should be like constant production of ghouls because it gives me more lumber. It's not even about the creeping speed, it's about the lumber, right? So if I stop my
Yeah.
ghoul production, it's like I stop my rifle production. As a Pala rifle, I can't afford stopping rifle production because with rifles I creep faster, I kite my opponent better. So I should think about the same with the ghouls. Constant ghoul production until I have 28. Then the graveyard, and if I have constant ghoul production and I see, okay, now maybe it's a good time for the graveyard, I go for a graveyard, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, understand. So now I think I will pull everything. Sometimes I just leave the low HP ghoul if I have a low HP ghoul. So yes, micro will be like Okay, this ghoul was like alone, but now the ghouls are coming. I have 2 more skeletons. Okay, so now I should go to the creep camp and put 2 ghouls on the farseer. Okay, so
Yeah,
let's
you should
see.
just ignore everything and go for the camp.
Okay. So I shouldn't fight this wolf, right? It's just a
Ideally, yeah,
distraction.
you shouldn't fight the
I mean, these wolves.
because you're just wasting. Yeah,
Okay,
you're
so
just
I
wasting time.
decided to go for this camp, and you see
Okay.
that it's much better to go for the turtle, right? Can you
Yes.
explain?
It's you should always contest the camps that are
Far away, right?
far away from your base.
And this
It's
camp can be
also
creeped with the ghouls later easily, right? So,
yeah, it can be crept with the ghouls afterwards. Ideally, you want to have at least level 2.5 when your tier 2 is finished.
okay.
So you should always try to have a. You need to have a plan in your mind on what your creep route is gonna be.
Mhm.
In this case, I think the standard, the app approach is to creep the turtles and
Okay.
then creep the expansion. It's actually doable. It's important that the slow on the expansion camp because there is a murloc that can slow.
Mhm.
It's casted either on hero or skeleton. So the first attack has to come from the skeleton, possibly.
To spawn to control the slow target.
To control the slow. Yeah, because if it targets a ghoul, then that ghoul either dies or you need to spend like 1 or 2 coils, and it's really bad.
Okay.
Um, So the best creep rate in this case to creep the orange as you did, then you go for the turtles expansion, and then you adapt. It
You
depends
adapt.
on you
On the
adapt.
situation. Okay, so
Yeah.
and when I have like half HP ghoul, I send the half HP ghoul back, and okay.
Yes.
So my question is, because I'm producing ghouls constantly, should the new ghouls go to my hero, or should the new ghouls cut lumber, or should I replace the low HP ghoul with a high HP ghoul?
Mm, I don't know in this case, to be
Finally,
honest.
something the coach doesn't know. I think you
Because
cut
the
some
main
wood,
problem,
right? Mhm.
yeah, the main problem if you put the rally point of the crypt on the decay is to the main disadvantage is that if the farseer start focused in the decay, then you don't have the necessity to pull back your ghouls, and then when you reach tier 2 you are low on lumber, and that's very very bad because your timing has to be almost perfect. So in my most of the times it's better to the rally point of the ghouls has to be on lumber.
Okay.
And then if you need the ghouls, you pull them.
Okay, that makes sense. And we have questions from Mr. Best Player EU / Areczek. When do we coil wolves under 100 HP? And my answer as a student, professor, is when we can get level 2 only with the coil. What do you think?
If you are desperate for level 2, then you should coil a wolf. It
Okay.
depends also on the map. For example, on this map, getting level 2 is very easy because there are not camps that are actually threatening.
Okay.
But for maps like Last Refuge, if you think about it, there is the first camp which is very easy, and then the second choice usually is to creep the Murlocs.
Poison,
And the Murlocs are very hard to very hard to creep while there is Farseer, because there is the poison creep, there is the ensnare creep. So if your ghoul gets ensnared, it's 100% a coil guaranteed, even two coils sometimes. So in that case, it's better to coil a wolf because you want to reach level 2 as fast as possible. But on maps like this, you don't like Tide Hunters, you don't necessarily need to coil wolves.
Okay, understood. Question. Okay, I would want to tell you something, Mr. SpyCreed, something interesting. Okay, so Farseer, the hero. Okay, so actually, I have been thinking about this idea to plant idea in your head, because I don't know if you do it, but if you it's very good versus Blade Master actually. So we know how long it takes to get the cooldown of the spell, right? So for example, to cast another Felar Spirit. And because we have a clock on the screen, right? Then, like, if AI would play Warcraft 3, because we are humans, we'll make mistakes, right? But in theory, it's possible to know if the Farseer has already a cooldown off. So if we call the wolf, he can just dodge the projectile, but summoning new wolves, right?
Yeah, most of the times it doesn't happen,
Yes.
especially if the DK is very close to the wolf. But
Yes.
yeah.
But what it will be more important is when we go to the Blade Master, right? And what is the Windwalk duration? 20 seconds on level 1, right? So basically it gives
I'm not
us...
sure.
Yeah, I'm just checking on... You don't see, but I'm reading. It's 20 seconds, right? So sometimes we are like, let's say it's Blade Master, not Farseer here, right? In this position. And basically if he goes into the Windwalk, we know how long we should wait close to the camp to Windwalk go off, right? And I think this information can be used. So if he goes Windwalk now, we know that at minute 4-8 seconds he would be off the Windwalk. So if you don't see him, usually he went away, right? And of course I know that sometimes you start camps even though Blade Master is there, because staying AFK is bad. I just wanted to highlight this idea. Okay, so let's follow. So I'm not attacking the... Okay, so he summoned, so I should start creeping already and send 2 ghouls.
That's
on
actually
the
good for you. That's actually good for you. You should never pull the camp like this, because it's easier for the undead to start the camp. So you actually, by attacking the creep, it's actually good for you.
Okay. Can you explain again? Because I didn't... So I was like
It's
dancing
fine.
with
If he
him.
starts the camp, yeah, you were dancing with him. But if he starts the camp, then it's easier for you to get in position to attack the units. It's true that the one unit gets ensnared, but it's fine because you are actually creeping the camp right now. So you are reaching your goal, which is to get level 3 as fast as possible. When you are almost when you are really close to killing a unit, you should
stop, right?
Yeah, you should stop for the Farseer attack, so you don't get
last hit
your creep stolen. Yeah, your creep stolen.
It's a dance. It's a dance. Some guys are really good with waiting with the last hit, and I saw in this guy eyes that he's not good with the last hit. So I was like, not like playing accordingly. But I understand it kind of depends of the player. So basically, the idea is like we can out damage him. So let's say this Murloc is on 23 damage, right? HP, and Farseer is 21-27. So and it's 100 multiplier. So if and there is armor, there is actually armor. So it can happen that Farseer will last hit or will not last hit, right? So now if he attacks first, we are in danger. But if we would leave Murloc on like 40 HP or 35 HP and then surround him, then even if he hits before us, then the Murloc is still alive and we kill it in like one blow. If we just stop the damage for a moment. And I'm very bad at this, so I should work on this. Okay, so there is no ghouls on the Farseer, that's the mistake. And as you can see, SaulNoobMan has 319 gold and is already making Graveyard and Ziggurat, but we are missing 2 ghouls, correct?
2 ghouls, yeah. Okay. So you should be low on lumber.
Yes, so I know what to fix. But yes, we are getting the last hits. And he's not getting the last hits, but yes, I'm not following here. We got the wolf even, so experience is looking nicely. We got another wolf, so yes, it's 1700 MMR game, right? But I'm still going. Now
you should go for Rod of Necromancy, number 2.
Oh, okay. So I would never go for Rod of Necromancy. Okay, so can you explain? Okay, I will explain you my reasoning. Are you ready?
Yes.
When I play Criplord versus Human on expansion, right? I know that it's like will be like this big fight, and sometimes I buy second Road of Necromancy, especially after my expansion went up, right? In early game, you are rarely in your base, so you don't buy in this matchup early double Road of Necromancy. Am I right?
Yes. Okay,
but versus Orc, yes, we are often in our base, and we can invest into Road of Necromancy. But when I see Wyverns,
wait, Cryptor the first expansion versus Orc?
No, sorry. Not fast. I'm saying about when I'm playing like that, right?
Okay.
In this game, I'm thinking the double road of necromancy might be not that useful, okay? Because I need my tech, I need my alchemist, because road of necromancy is not going to help me versus wyverns. That's my scare. Should I be
Yeah, I
scared?
understand. You should always prioritize DK level 3 over everything else.
Okay, so it's about, because the DK level 3 will help me, right? So because he can't stop my creeping, and the more skeletons I have, the stronger my creeping is, so I can guarantee level 3, right? That's your point with another
Yeah, you
road?
should guarantee. Yeah, you should guarantee level 3. So you should buy the second rod of necromancy, so you creep faster, better, and
Second road always versus Farseer, harass. Can we agree?
against everything actually.
Everything versus orc we are
Everything.
talking. Okay.
Yeah,
Because
orc, elf, human. You always buy the second rod of necromancy.
Okay, that's a fix that I can do easily. Thank you for that. Because I know myself.
So you should always remember that after you creep the second camp, you should go for second rod of necromancy.
Okay, after second camp.
Because when you finish your first camp, the second rod is not available. So you need to wait for the second camp.
Okay, yeah, it's about creeping level 3. That makes sense. And if you are good with saving the mana, right? Then you basically enter, because like, as you said, during, the first camp, the camp was strong, so I should use one coil. And sometimes, if the situation is dangerous for a ghoul, but usually, if we enter versus Farseer that is harassing, if we get a level 3 Death Knight with a lot of coils, like 80% mana, that's very good, right? So this we can use the level 3 better. So yes, that's why.
Let me check the your tech right now.
Tech?
Is it okay? Almost.
I'm late.
Yeah,
so
okay.
yes, but I'm late. So
check his tech.
already
Okay, he's
done.
done. Yeah, he's done.
So yes, so I should buy the roads, and basically I'm let's see. SaulNoobMan is still not producing ghouls, right? That's criminal, because it was my approach. I don't need ghouls. I need some, tier 3. But you are right that without lumber I can't go tier 3 anyway. So I should invest into ghouls. Okay, so now basically is waking up.
That's good for you. That's good for you because you mean look what happens. You are already in position to creep the camp, and by pulling the camp, also the critter goes forward. In this case, towards you. So it's easier to creep to surround the creep. Okay. So you should never pull the camps like that.
Orc.
Yeah,
it's
you should
making
pull
my
camps,
life easier. Right?
Yeah, you should camp. You should creep. You should pull camps maybe like that has slow, a lot of snares, and so on. In this case, it has a meaning, but by pulling like this it's pointless.
Okay. Let's see. So we are creeping. He's going for the last hit. We got the last hit. He's summoned the wolf.
In this case, you pull the ghoul back.
Instead of coiling, right?
Yeah. It's always better to pull the ghoul back. If you know that it's gonna die because it cannot survive, then you go for the coil. Okay. You want to save as many coils as possible. That's good. That's a good surround. You need to save the coils for the when he's going to creep. You need as many coils as possible to steal camps, to coil the shadow hunter if it's low HP, and so on.
It's a good habit because, it's good habit that you can practice every game basically. Okay, because there are some Saul, you need to get ready to fight with banshees versus mass gryphons, right? You need to practice this skill. It's not that easy to practice because how often you go 70 supply versus 70 supply human. You need to spend 20 minutes in games. Some games are finishing, early. But pulling back low HP ghouls without coiling, you can practice every game, right? So it's a good habit to develop for a new players. Okay, so rate my early game. Are we in good position?
You're fine. You're fine.
But it's not a winning position because I feel like I had good early game. Can we
a winning position would be level 3 right now.
And more wood.
Yeah. and more wood.
Okay, so even though I force him back, right? I shouldn't be that happy because I'm not level 3 and I have low lumber.
Okay, right now it's important to scout actually because you don't know if he's going for the Dauntless.
Yeah.
So you need to send one of the skeletons.
Healthy
In the case you didn't get the Rod of Necromancy. What happens now? That you need to use these skeletons to creep, and you don't actually have a skeleton that you can send on the other side of the map that is actually gonna survive because it expires. All your skeletons, maybe
duration.
like this one. Yeah, you can send this one to check for information.
Double barrack, single barrack, or double bestiary.
But now, after this turtle, you should go to the expansion to creep the expansion, and you don't have the skeletons to creep it, so you're gonna take too much damage. And the problem is that you know that the Shadow Hunter is gonna harass you. So there is a higher chance. Yeah, there is a higher chance that you're gonna lose something while creeping that expansion.
Even a hero, and that's GG.
Yeah, hero. Yeah, there is also.
Okay,
that.
so
That's why you should buy the ritual dagger.
Okay, and thank you for that because in most of my games I usually not prioritizing level 3 versus orc, and probably because I was like, I don't have a second road of necromancy anyway, and now I will have my road of necromancy second one, and I will have level 3 faster. So now basically, you know, we are just going to follow my mistakes, you know, because maybe next time we are on voice, I will get.
Yeah, one more tip. When if your tier 2 is like you go for tier 2 at the right time, when your tier 2 finishes, it should be at the same time that the Shadow Hunter comes out of the altar. Okay. It's not like simultaneously. It doesn't happen simultaneously, but it's like an indication that the Shadow Hunter is gonna be aggressive soon.
Okay, so it's like an indicator if you don't remember the exact value, right? Because now we have the clock, so we can learn the timing, or a second hero with fast tech for orc, if you are real gamers.
Yeah.
But if we don't want to remember it, we need to remember that if we have healthy tech, then when our tech is done, the Shadow Hunter can be already running from the base to towards
you should be aware that the Shadow Hunter can be can be aggressive.
Okay, so now, as Mr. SpyCreed pointed out, I will finish the turtle, but my lumber is low, and I have 276, but I need a lot of lumber. So yes, we got the turtle, and I thought that I had good early game, because I lost 0 ghouls, he didn't steal any single creep, and I forced him back, but it's a bittersweet information because of the mistakes. I did not produce ghoul, I did not buy second road of necromancy, so I'm still not in a very good position because, as Mr. SpyCreed said, I'm not at level 3.
A good position, but it's not winning.
Not winning. Okay. And now mistakes will happen. So let's see.
Yeah, now you are going back because you don't feel like creeping the expansion because you probably don't have enough.
And I'm afraid of Shadow Hunter, and I saw Farseer coming back, so now you know what I will do now? I will camp. So I will camp now. So
which is the right thing to do in this
situation. Okay. In damage control situation, because in a perfect world I would be already here finishing the at least the item, okay? And then when I see that Farseer is coming again, I should pull back and camp.
In an ideal situation, you would be creeping right now in this moment the Murlocs close to your base, actually. The green camp.
Okay.
Because the ideal creep route is to go for orange, turtles, expansion, and then when you are missing some experience, you go for the close camp because it's a safe camp to creep.
Okay, so the order of the creep camps
it counts
made
because
my
now,
life more dangerous.
Because now if you want to creep your DK to level 3, you need to go for a dangerous camp with slow X and so on.
And it's better to go for dangerous camp with just Farseer pressure than with Farseer hex pressure. Right?
Yes, exactly.
So because of that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm staying on level 2 as a SaulNoobMan, and I don't have enough lumber. And as you can see, Mr. SpyCreed, I saved on my ghouls, and I have 1,200 gold.
Yeah, you're banking for the next game. It's
Yes,
nice.
for the next game I'm getting ready. So don't make my mistakes. Basically, make your ghouls. I mean, 2 more. Even if we play, so Ritual Dagger we are using. So at least
It's a good
that's
choice.
something. Tier 3 immediately. Would you go tier 3 before a Slaughterhouse versus Wyverns? If we, okay, so
No,
we
no.
scouted Wyverns. Okay, so let's talk about if we scout Wyverns. We know that it's Wyverns. What is the order?
The order is tier 3,
Okay.
second hero, then you go for Slaughterhouse and Ziggurat.
Order.
And
So,
then
mhm.
and then you go for Gargoyles production.
Tier 3 Hero, Slaughter, Zig, and Garg.
Mhm.
Okay. And basically, I saw Farseer in the middle, so I decided I will wait until the Lich is out. That was my decision.
Yeah, this is wrong.
This is
Because
wrong?
yeah, in the meanwhile he can creep the middle camps. It's
Mm.
fine if he creeps the middle camps, but you need to do something in the
Okay.
meantime. You
Well,
need to creep your level 3.
Well, it depends on the read because like there are some very aggressive orc players, you know. So like like let's say we have map hack, right? We remove Fog of War,
Yes.
and we know that he's coming, that he's like looking for me.
You don't care.
We
You
don't
don't
care.
care.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't care. If he's gonna X your ghouls, it's fine. Your ghouls are destined to die at some point.
They can't fight wyverns, right? So.
Yeah, they can't fight wyverns. So the best use you can have right now is to creep. If he comes to you and creep jacks you, it's still fine because you're gonna get experience. You are delaying his level 3. His level 3 is very important. The Shadow Hunter level 3 is very important for the heal wave.
Okay.
And the goal is to actually delay him as much as possible between your tier 2 and tier 3. There are 2 approaches actually when you reach tier 2. You either go for item hunting, which is
But
you
with
use
okay. Slowly. I got level
Yeah.
3. I understand that. Before
Yes.
Lich is out, we will have a good creep road and good ghoul management. I got level 3. And
Yes.
Farseer Shadowhunter is looking for me. Okay.
Okay.
Should I still go for some like? Should I still pull all of the ghouls and like creep
No.
this camp? Because when we get level 3, then there is nothing really close to our base, right? Because like
Yeah,
creeping...
of course you can't creep that camp because it's too complicated. It has poison creep, so
Okay.
you should pull some ghouls like 3 or 4
Okay.
skeletons,
When the Lich is
and you
out,
go.
right? Or
No, immediately. You should go immediately.
okay. So
If
I'm
you are Russ,
okay.
it's fine.
Okay, I'm here. I got my level 3, he came back. Or he just was all the time with me and I got my level 3 and I'm here.
Okay.
In this good... Okay, actually not. We crept this, we got level 3 because... Like, that's the perfect creep road, the perfect game. We creep this. We are here, level 3 and Lich is half done. What do we do next? Let's say the expo is crept already.
Okay, when you are level 3, you can go for 2 approaches, like I said. You can go for item hunting, which is coil novaing
The big
the
guy.
creeps the creeps that have the item, and you just carry as much item as possible. For example, in this case, you can go for either the middle camps.
So you mean Marketplace or Makrura, yes?
Yeah, you will go for one of those 2. Or the second approach is to go for you search for your opponent and you try to coil and nova what is most convenient. So if there is a low HP creep, you coil the creep. If
low HP
Shadow
Wyvern,
Hunter, yeah, it's the same. You should pay attention to the Shadow Hunter HP also, because Shadow Hunter always it's low HP, yes, but at the same time you should remember that he goes for X 99% of the time, so it doesn't have healing wave.
Yeah.
Even one coil nova, it can put the Shadow Hunter at very low HP. So the orc will most of the time start panicking, and panicking results. Yeah, and panicking results in slower
The decisions. Creeping.
slower creeping speed, which is your main goal. During tier 2, you need to slow him down.
So main goal to slow down creeping in mid game. Main goal of mid game. Either item hunt or to slow down the level 3 creep. Also, when we buy another Road of Necromancy, right, the second one, I mean, then we have some additional scouting possibility, right? Because
exactly, I want to add one more thing about this. When you reach level 3, let's say that you finish the creeping on the Murloc, you summon 2 skeletons. One skeleton checks the left side of the map to see where he is, and the other one checks the right side of the map. This is because when Lich comes out, or even when you are with DK level 3, you already know where your opponent is if he is creeping, and you can start being aggressive. The main problem at tier 2 is when you don't know where your opponent is, and you are just blindly going around
with
the
just
map
a hero.
with just a hero, and that's the worst possible scenario at tier 2.
Happens to me often.
If you know where your opponent is, you are us. If you have DK level 3 and Lich, but you don't know where he is, like he can be everywhere, you don't mindlessly go around the map checking for him. You go for item hunting. In this case, you can steal easily the Ogre Magi on the marketplace.
Okay, another question I have a little bit about item management, and I know that some opponents can be like heavy into hero focus. For example, I played versus Mr. Funlex recently on ladder and I lost. Okay, because he went for like Mass Wyvern, Hex, not Mass Raider and Snare Hex, right? So it's like a very drastic example of just pure hero focus in the late game. But what if I know that my steel opponent is plays Wyverns, Hex first, and he has this tendency to hero focus? And my question is, can I invest into one healing potion, or is like a no-no in the Undead University?
As long as you don't delay your slaughterhouse and tier 3, it's fine.
Because, for example, I have these sleepers, right?
Yes.
And my idea is, should I sell the sleepers and buy healing potion? What do you think about this idea?
Healing potion in this case.
Okay, in this game, I kind of feel that he's coming for me, and I'm on level 2, half HP. Should I exchange?
For now, you should not, because
I
he
should buy
doesn't
the Road
have.
of Necromancy. No slaughterhouse.
Allora, if you are level 3 on your DK and you are full HP, and he has 3 for Wyverns and 2 heroes, of course, then you should be fine. But if your hero is like half HP and 3 for Wyverns are out, you should be aware that he can use 2 free X and Speed Scroll, and those combined can actually kill your hero if he micros well, because you can also use the Spirit Wolves to body block your DK, and that can result in an hero kill, which is of course the worst case scenario.
Okay, and
so you should buy healing potion if you think that it's absolutely necessary.
Okay, do you always sell agility items when
In
you
this
don't
case,
go for
yes.
Dark Ranger?
In this case, yes.
Mr. Vess is
If
asking,
you don't go for Dark Ranger, yes, you should sell, in my opinion, the Sleepers, Boots of Quel'Thalas, yes.
Mr. Vess is asking about buying mana potion early when you have level 3 DK. Mr. Vess is saying to keep pressure on the heroes of Orc.
You can do that, yes, as long as you don't delay your mandatory things like tier 3 heroes, slaughterhouse, and so on.
Okay, so let's speak about the mandatory things.
Like there is not your build order as priority over everything else. If you want to buy potions, it's not a bad thing. If like you want to keep pressure, like with coils, you want to coil the Shadow Hunter, slow him down, but you need to keep in mind that everything else is gonna be slowed down. like as a consequence.
Okay. I would like to understand, in your point of view, how important is Garg, first Garg, okay? Because, like, for example, as a noob, I would prefer to have one mana potion instead of first Garg, because mana potion is easy to use. As I said, I see Shadow Hunter on level 1 with Hex. He wants to be aggressive, then I Coil Nova, mana potion, Coil Nova, right? And he's like in this panic mode, as I said. But when I go for the Garg, often it happens to me because he will have 2 Wyverns already when the Garg is out. Can we agree on that with our build order? Then he just Hex the Garg and focus it, and even if I coil, it kind of feels like the Garg will still die, or maybe it's just because I'm usually on level 2 and probably I misremember
so
it.
about the Gargs, it's you need to keep the gargoyle close to you, but not in range of the X. You should use the gargoyle.
You need to have a micro. That's bad news.
Yeah, yeah. You need to put the gargoyle into a different
Oh my god!
different control group,
2000
because
MMR
it needs
gameplay.
to be. It doesn't need to be close to your ears, because it just get X and killed by the wyverns. But it needs to be close to you. Why? Because if the Shadow Hunter uses all the X, okay, on your heroes, for example, or on creeping, etc., then you can actually use the gargoyle, because you are not afraid of of the gargoyle dying. But if we can X, it's always better to keep the gargoyle safe.
Okay, so basically Gargoyle is like our technology that we want to use after the Hex is gone, that there is no mana.
Yeah.
So we just keep Gargoyle back, and Gargoyle gives us vision, so it's not like the Gargoyle is terrible. In some situation, we can use Gargoyle for scouting a little bit as well, So like if you have good micro, and when it comes to like fight, it's kind of cool, as you mentioned, like Orc is trying to chase us, right? So we run away with Gargoyle, and for example, we hit Shadow Hunter with the heroes, right? And then he needs to hex my like Death Knight. If he hexes my Death Knight, I can pull back the Garg and always put Garg on the Wyverns, right?
Yes.
And then coil the Garg if I have mana. Okay, so I understand that. So let's see what I have done. So I'm waiting with my Death Knight, and I think I will sell the Sleepers. I sold the Sleepers, and I have one Ritual more Dagger, but no Skeletons. So even in this situation, I still should buy the Wand of Necromancy, right? Do we agree?
The Rod of Necromancy, because you need to know where he is right now.
Yeah, so yeah, that's terrible. And look, I'm just camping. And he's looking for me. So let's say I have map hack, and I made like it still was a bad decision, right? Because I didn't creep. I don't know. Like if I have map hack, I should creep here, right? I should creep here.
Yeah, you should still creep
with map hack. Okay. So like hiding in the base is not a good thing. And I was like, okay, I hiding in the base because I have low lumber, but I have low lumber because I made 2 less ghouls, right? And the result is that I'm still under leveled and I'm hiding and I'm doing nothing. Okay, but it's still better to hide than just die, right? So
yeah, of course.
So yes, he's coming. I'm waiting for my Lich basically, so I don't want to commit into him. I think I will wait for my Lich because like I feel like he has nothing to creep really. So, but yes, okay.
Yeah, you should scout with skeletons at this point to see if he's actually going back to creep or if he's still like waiting for you to come out of your base.
Okay, can you give me some tips about timing on my Ziggurat number 4? Because I feel that with 2 additional ghouls, I would have 35, right? 35 food. So with Slaughterhouse, I would have 38. So this Ziggurat in this situation is too early, but if I play normal build order, I would have, first of all, a little bit less gold, because I will make 2 more ghouls, and I'll have more supply. So like, so is every time Ziggurat number 4 after the Slaughterhouse, or do we like?
Most of the time it's irrelevant. So you can go for Gargoyle and then Ziggurat, or you can go for Ziggurat and then Gargoyle. In this case, if you don't lose anything, if you lose something, like you lose 1 ghoul, 2 ghouls, and you don't remake the ghouls, then it's, yeah, of course, it's better to go for Gargoyle and then Ziggurat.
Okay. Okay, so, and yes, I would spend some gold on the Road of Necromancy anyway. Okay, so I bought the Road of Necromancy, and my plan is basically to creep something, I guess, and I'm still waiting for the Leech, so yes. Not being level 3 is terrible, not scouting is terrible, but yes, I think... So as I said, if I would be already level 3 and I know where he is, I could go for the Creep Jacks. And if I don't know where he is, I should go like with 3-4 ghouls for the item hunt. So now I'm going for the item hunt. And what do you think in this position about taking 3 ghouls? It's 3 ghouls okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's
okay.
actually good, yes.
Okay. And so yes, following the mistake. So okay, so here we get level 3 and we go for the middle for the... That's what I would do. And for example, as you can see now, the piercing damage from the Garg is very low. So maybe I should scout with the Garg. What do you think? Like here for a moment.
You need to keep a close eye on the gargoyle if you want to scout with the gargoyle,
because
if
he hacks and it's dead. Yes, immediately.
It's dead. Yeah, okay. There is no saving it.
Okay, so like over trees, I need to be a little bit.
It's always better to scout with the skeletons.
Okay.
So yeah, yes.
Scouting Garg a little bit too hard for SaulApeMan. Better first think about creep roads, and then SpyCreed will see SaulApeMan at 2300 MMR destroying focus.
I hope so.
Destroying focus, and SpyCreed is like, oh, Saul is really scouting nicely with his Garg.
Then you will coach me.
Advantage. But yes, for now I need to focus on good creep roads and not camping in the base.
Yes. Then you will be the one coaching me.
Okay, yes, we need some more MMR, thank you. Okay, because yeah, the damage of the Garg is low. Okay, he's scouting us, so it means either he crept the lab, which is unlikely, or he get consumable, so he crept Makrura. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
So we kind of know that he should be at Makrura, yes? Yes, so
yes.
Good call. Okay. Okay, so what do we do now in this situation? We are making... okay, I have questions. So, double... obsidian statue always.
Yes.
How early we start armor upgrades for Gargs? That's my question. Because I'm already making it. It's probably too early, right?
No, it's too early. Maybe when you are like 48 food.
Okay. 48 food, so I have tried because like how many guards you want to have? How many guards you want to have in like because we always want orb, we always want alchemies, we always want double obsidian statues, so probably the answer is as many guards as we can have without slowing down the
Destroyers are more important actually than Gargs. Because you can actually dispel the wolves and
they survive one bat.
Right? They survive 2 bats if there is one armor upgrade. If there is no armor upgrade, they die to 2 bats.
Okay.
Yeah, so the armor upgrade, there are actually 2 ways of playing against Farseer mass wyverns. One is to just go for high food count, like 60 food, and then just fight against the orc. Or you can stay at 50 food and mass armor upgrades, like 01, 02, and then 03. At 03, your gargoyle doesn't die anymore to Bat Rider if the gargoyle is full HP. But I always prefer to go for the first approach.
Okay, so but do we so if we want to push the orc base, it's hard, right? So we break 60 and we like contest mega important camps, or we still push
in my opinion, you should not push the base because the longer the game goes, the better it is for you because you will stay at 2 heroes and your heroes are
scaling very well.
Yeah, scale better. Frost Nova level 2 is massive against wyverns and bat riders, and even leveling the alchemist is well. It's always good. So you should always prioritize, at least in the early stages of the late game, to creep.
Okay.
And contest important camps.
Okay. So basically, I can break the foot, so I can contest the camps better, right? So basically,
Yeah. By the
like,
way, you should go for 2 gargoyles between tier 2 and tier 3, not more.
not more. Okay.
Not more, because when you reach tier 3, you need to immediately go for Destroyer form, Frenzy, Orb, third year, and it's a lot of gold, so you don't have the luxury to go for a third gargoyle.
Okay. Okay, so I got my level 3 and I should scout now with 2 fresh skeletons. So let's see. I'm scouting one skeleton, like shift click here, shift click here. So yes. I'm sending
Yeah.
my another fresh skeleton because like shift click here, shift click here because I know that kind of macro is scrapped, and I still go with my army to hunt the item from here. Can we?
Yes, that's the plan. You should
Okay.
keep the gargoyle in the back because he revealed you with the item.
So we know,
So,
but in general we don't know.
Yeah. So you should always keep it in the back.
Okay, Mr. Vess is asking about ghoul management in general in the late game. So do we still go for ghoul frenzy?
Yes, you still go for ghoul frenzy because they deal good damage in melee. They tank the damage of the spirit wolves, and they can be used to surround if you have the micro to do it.
That's the problem.
It's and of course, if you have like 7 ghouls that you can use in the late game, it's always better to do frenzy ghouls, of course, because they are actually good at fighting. They are bound to die. They are bound to die. It's fine if they die. You can't do anything about it.
Okay, but if we want to do armor upgrades, right, then still we kind of need our ghouls to get the lumber, right? So basically, so let's follow the game actually. So now I have 3 ghouls, right? Should I pull more, or should having 3 ghouls with me at this stage of the game in this situation is fine?
It's fine.
Okay.
You can pull one more, but it's fine like this also.
Okay, Mr. Vess is asking. Okay, so let's say you get tier 3 and you have the destroyer form you have the like 2-0 upgrades even in the queue. So and then how many ghouls you should have in your base when you have like almost everything upgrade done? It's like 1 ghoul, 2 ghouls, or 3 ghouls.
2 ghouls is the bare minimum to have a production of
Destroyer and
either fiends and gargoyles and destroyers, statues and destroyers. 2 is the bare minimum. If you're going for upgrades, you need at least 3.
Okay, 2 ghouls is minimum. And if we want to sometimes even expand, or do we never expand in this matchup? If the org is good, of course.
You never expand against first
never.
You can try to expand, but it's hard. It's hard because spirit wolves are very oppressive.
Yeah, it's better to just invest into heroes. Okay. Actually, I have a question. I so happy sometimes with maps like Tide Hunters when you have nice marketplace, right? Because like is it, for example, worth it to buy Mantle of Intelligence? I don't even remember how much is Mantle.
Yes.
Then make one Garg number 3. Then so because
it's good to buy items, yes, because
like your main carry are heroes, right?
Yes, exactly. So the more they survive, the more novas, the more everything, the better. Of course, gargoyles are bound to die as well. Gargoyles are there just because they need to soak the damage from the Batriders. If they connect to the Wyverns, it's good, of course. But as long as you have good levels on your heroes, 2 statues, and at least 1 destroyer to counter the X, the spirit wolves, you are fine. If the gargoyles die, it's fine. But if you can stack items on your heroes, then that's very good.
It should be a little bit of a mix of everything, right? If we just buy items and we have 0 gargs, then orc will just go pure mass wyvern, right? Because
yeah, it's a mix. Of course,
because like basically we want gargs, so he can't go mass wyvern, just pure, right? Because like if he does if he like spending time on map with bats are terrible. They can't creep. They deal very low damage. If he's like a little bit lower MMR MMR player. He can lose a bat to creep, right? Because piercing damage from the camp is very dangerous, but has
he
very
cannot
low
invest.
HP.
He cannot invest too much on bat
So
riders
having those
because
Gargs is basically like you need to detonate those bats, and if I have good micro and I keep my Gargs a little bit, in hard position to reach, maybe I can even out-trade you, even you still detonate my Gargs, because, I kill some of your bats, and Orc still needs to make more bats, and yes, so it's like a little bit of a dance with two fragile units.
yes.
But yes, if we skip the Gargs, then Orc will just go pure mass Wyvern, right?
Yes.
Because
By the way, you should keep the gargoyles into the second group because in the
with
case
statues,
yeah, there is a reason for this, because if the opponent is going for bat riders, of course, you need to use actually Coil Nova on the bat riders.
I saw it.
To get an advantage. Of course.
But good Garg position is making early easier for me, the undead, to use Coil Nova, because the worst feeling is that you coil the bat and he still managed to detonate, right? So it's kind of like mana burn to the detonation. Yes, so I need to definitely work on that. So Gargs on different control groups. Graup. Okay, so let's go back to the game. So I got my level 3. Okay, question from Mr. Best. Good question. And now we are getting into creativity. What do you think about Stone Form in this particular matchup?
It's not good enough, because even if you use a Stone Form, the bat rider will still connect, even if if the gargoyle is going down and is about to get stunned, but petrified, it will still connect with the bat rider if the bat rider hit the gargoyle. So it will still die.
Okay, I can give you example, Mr. SpyCreed, as an experienced 4v4 player. Okay. I remember, because in 4v4, usually you moving as 2 players, usually, not with 4. And I remember I was playing Orc long time ago, and I played versus Undead that went mass bats, okay, on my lane. And I said, okay, I will just mass my bat riders, and even if you go for upgrades, there is still this AoE effect, right? So it's still just trade very efficiently. And what my opponent was doing, he had a Stone Form. He was waiting for, because we played mass versus mass, right? So I had a lot of bats. So I was, as a SaulNoobMan, I put my bats in front. I was clicking, detonate. Then he landed all of the Gargs, and his teammate had some anti-air capacity, so spells, Coil Nova, some AoE Panda Breath, and my bats couldn't connect anymore. But it's not 4v4, it is solo, right? So what Mr. SpyCreed is saying, if you have one bat versus one Garg, still the Stone Form has some delay, right? So the Stone Form is not always guaranteed to save your Garg. And it's better to invest, it's I think 150 wood into armor. Let me see how expensive it is.
It should be... I don't remember, actually.
Because nobody uses it, Kappa. So, gargoyle. And it was 75 gold, 150 wood.
Yes.
So maybe it's even better to go for Sacrificial Pit, to have web, to have shade, than Stone Form.
Yeah.
Because it's always
because
a trade,
you always
right?
need to scout for expansion. There are many variations on the Orc side. You can stay tier 2 and go for expansion, tier 3 Envenomed Spears expansion, tier 3 Lame into banking, and then mass produce when he reaches 1500 gold, and so on.
Okay, first of all, I would like to welcome Mr. Azra. And okay, Mr. SpyCreed, I don't know if you are ready for these creative questions, but it shows how genius my Twitch chat is. Question from Mr. Please Nerve. Is it worth it at marketplace to buy Wand of Illusion and make fake Gargs?
Yes.
Because it's pure math, right? So one bat rider is what? 120? What is troll bat rider? Gold.
Wand of Illusion is one of the best items you can buy in most cases. Even if you are facing you are mass melee against the Hunters, it's super strong to have like 3 illusion heroes. Like you use the wand of illusion on your DK. You have 3 DKs, 2 DKs in front with illusion. They will suck so much damage, even against high MMR players, because you might think good players will not focus illusions, but it's actually not true. It's not that easy.
Yeah, so
It's always strong.
Wand of Illusion, you know, you have 2 chargers, so in total is 150 gold, and one Bat Rider is 160 gold. So even if he detonates one of all your illusion, it's still worth it. And question, can you make illusion of Destroyer? I think so, right?
I don't think so.
Really? Okay, so it's trivia question. Wand
I'm not sure.
of Illusion
You should try.
on Destroy, because the better value you get from Destroyer, right? Destroyer has more HP, more armor, I think so.
Yes,
If he
of course.
detonates on the
Few bats if there are no armor upgrades. If there is one armor upgrade, you need 3.
yeah, but also I don't know. The problem with illusion is that you don't have the full HP. You have the half HP, right? So
Yeah, that's also true.
the Garg will die, and probably Destroyer will still die, right? So like it doesn't really matter. So Ves, you says that you can't make Wand of Illusion on the on the Destroyer, but it's about to check. Hello, Mr. Kenny. By the way, Mr. Kenny says hello to Mr. SpyCreed, fellow undead player.
Hello,
I remember.
Kenny.
And Mr. Viking with some memes. And the meme for the English-speaking Twitch chat is I had a viewer from Poland that saw my stream when I was practicing Zeppelin drops and wisps on position on the lab for like 5 hours, and this gentleman checked my stream, went to work, came back, and I was still making the Zeppelin Excel sheet, and he was having fun that I'm a no-life. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we know how to approach this, and that I'm making. So let's point out my mistakes, Mr. SpyCreed. Too early graveyard and too many Gargs.
Yes.
And scouting is, of course, not existing. And my Garg now is in front. That's fine, but I should usually be careful of my Garg position. I see that Orc Magi was stolen. So what should I do now? I still don't know where my opponent is, and I presume that Makrura is gone. I presume that Orc Magi
go to
is
the expansion
gone.
because you don't actually have knowledge if he expanded or not, if he's tier 2, if he's tier 3.
In this particular game is that what's next after the expo, right?
You creep the expo. Let's see if the creep is still there. Okay, in this case you creep the camp.
Really? Because I was like, okay, he's not here, I want to creep jack him. That's my so I'm not doing item hunt, I'm doing the creep jack basically. But
yeah, you are in this weird scenario where you don't know where he is, and then you have to decide between creeping or harassing. You should always, like I said earlier, you need to have skeletons to actually scout. But in this case where you don't know where he is, I would actually creep that camp because it also gives you a nice item. Yes, it gives like good gloves of face, which are always good on your ears.
Okay, so I'm wasting time because of the lack of second wand of necromancy, and even you said that my early game was good, not perfect, good enough.
Okay, in this
my
scenario,
mid game is bad. My mid game is bad.
Okay, in this scenario actually, you should go to the red camp and snipe the item.
The red with consumable, right?
Yes. You just go in Nova, use all your units and take the item.
I'm going to buy the orb, I think. No, I'm creeping the lab, I remember. I pull the ghouls and I'm creeping the lab.
Yeah, you should never creep the lab. It is very, very bad to creep the lab.
So he got 3 items and I got nothing. Because now I see him and I will chase him. What do you think about that?
This is worst case scenario. because they will get hexed, so they will just die immediately.
Okay, so okay, I pulled back. Okay, so now I'm a little bit annoyed, and I have too many Gargs, and I'm getting my tier 3, so that's something. So
okay, now you send the DK back and take the Orb of Corruption.
Soaking experience on the Death Knight.
Yeah,
it's not good. Don't soak, Soul. Don't soak. Oh, I need to. Okay. So yes, I'm a soaking experience. So let me write it down. So Leech level 3 is important. And yes, scouting, I know that I'm ready in this position because of terrible scouting. Okay, he's approaching me, as we can see. So what do we do now, Mr. SpyCreed?
I will try to trade at least for 1 or 2 Wyverns. If you see that the situation is dire, you just go back. Maybe Coil Nova one of the Wyverns and focus it with the gargoyles and see what happens.
Okay, so Nova.
Yeah, so you focus. Yes.
Oh, and
You
look,
try to get
I
now you go
remember.
back.
I
Now
will
you go back.
remember. I will coil the Wars
Yes,
Wyvern.
coil the Wyverns, but all your units go back because you want to wait for the.
Look, I misclicked the Wyvern. I will call another
Ah,
one.
yeah, this is normal. This is normal. It happens all the time. Yeah.
Yes, they are close together. The hitbox, it's not that easy to click. Okay, but damage control. We are pulling back now. Okay, so
Yeah, now you
we
pull
need
back.
orb,
and you buy
destroyer
the
4,
alchemist. Yes.
and alchemist.
Yeah.
We have lumber almost. Okay.
So now you go to creep the bottom part of the map, and one of your ghouls or skeletons, if you have still 1 charge of Rod of Necromancy, goes for the tavern and buys the alchemist.
Okay, so probably I'll go to the tavern with everything because I'm scared. And of course the easy. Look, I bought too many items. Okay.
Yeah, too many items.
Okay, my question is how early I should morph my destroyer? That's my question.
When it's necessary.
Okay,
so if you are creeping, then you want to have above the status up because you need to regen your mana. If you see that he is approaching, like he is close to you, then you consider destroyer. Most of the times, you should morph the destroyers like a bit earlier than
to get position, right?
Yeah, before he approaches you with speed scroll and so on. So you need to have one destroyer up.
Hello, Mr. Sharky. Mr. Sharky says hello. Okay, so basically, as you said, okay, we have some bats here.
You pull back and go
Gargs.
Coil Nova. Yeah.
Coil Nova, pull back Gargs, and look what SaulMoobMan did.
No. Disaster.
And
wow.
Yes, but we have alchemists, okay.
And that is trash.
And that is trash, ladies and gentlemen, indeed. Okay, so we have 123 lumber. I know that I have 1 ghoul too little to continue the production now because
I think you have 2. What is close to the Tomb of Relics? Is it a ghoul?
Ah, something is there.
Yeah, 2 is fine.
Okay, there is a hidden ghoul. Okay, should be close to my graveyard. So yes, now I'm looking for him. And yes,
you should not look for him in this case.
No, okay, tell me why.
Because as I said, it's better to creep your heroes to level 3. If you get level 3 on Leech, it's super good because you are ready to fight.
Okay, so don't fight before Leech level 3.
Always scout also for the expansion. You need to have you need to imagine like if he's going for an expansion.
Yeah, I'm kind of well. When I'm in the correct mindset, I'm kind of good at scouting expansions. I have this feeling. I played so many games versus Orc Lamers with my beloved Pala rifle. That's where the Shade could be useful, yes, Mr. Vest, but I think Shade, as Mr. SpyCreed said, first of all, has the priority when we get the Acolyte, Scouting Acolyte saved, and we have Lumber, and now I think I need to pump 50 supply first, right, and then make the Shade? What do you think, Mr. SpyCreed? We are on 40 food.
You reach 50 food, then based on how the game goes, you should also consider making a Spirit Tower if he's going for Lime. You should also buy even a Scroll of Town Portal. It depends on the game. It depends on the game because if he's going for you grab the map, you don't know where he is, then this is when this is when the lemming from the orc happens. if he
Laming
goes
and expansion at the same time.
yeah, laming and expansion. So what usually happens is that you don't have, of course, the scroll of town portal. The orc rushes into your base with speed scroll. Uses shine lightning, kills everything, and you lose the game automatically. There is no saving it.
Yes, that's true.
You just lose.
Under this trash, yes.
Under this trash. So you need, at some point, you need to buy the scroll of town portal.
I would like to share one story from yesterday. So I played versus orc on Hammerfall. I had decent early game, right? And of course I sold my scroll of TP, and I was creeping something like I was stealing a camp from my opponent to get level 3. And as you said, he went to my base with Farsi level 2 and with like 3 headhunters, you know. And basically he killed like 3 acolytes of mine when I was basically attacking, right? And I just lost.
Yes.
And now I understand why Happy's always scouting with these freaking skeletons. Because I was like, Happy scouting with these skeletons so much, maybe he should creep with them. But you can only steal the camp, like in general, from your opponent's side of the map if you don't have TP, right? When you know where your opponent is. Because if your opponent goes into your base, it's checkmate. You can have 1 Arcane Tower, a Nerubian Tower, it's still not enough, right? Because you still lose the 3 Acolytes. He will tip you out when you are finally back, and you are behind, Omega behind, right? So, yes, that's why I think the power of scouting is so important with those skeletons. You always kind of like, if you want to be in defense, aggressive position with the DK without the TP, you should always know first where your opponent is, right? That's my take here.
Yeah.
So
like in this case, you probably know that he's on the bottom side of the map.
He can be like here, going to my base already, right? And then I'm screwed.
Yeah. The problem is that you moved all your army to buy the alchemist, when the best thing to do would be to send 1 ghoul to
or skeleton, yes.
Or skeleton to buy the alchemist, and everything else should be already at the red camp. Because you want to creep it. By doing this, you allow your opponent to actually sneak in.
Oh, we are fighting before level 3.
It's actually he didn't research concrete, so destroying burrs is always good.
Okay, so you see it's not that bad, even though I don't have Lich level 3 here. I mean,
it's fine. It's fine because you're actually killing burrs. But if you had concrete like you should have at this timing. Okay, now you should morph destroyer.
Okay, now I should morph destroyer. Okay.
You can't fight this. You should try to kite at this point.
Kite. Do you like frost armor on the alchemist here?
Yes.
Alchemist, acid bomb already in place.
You should morph now, because if one of your units gets hexed, you need to dispel immediately.
And I can't coil the statues, right? And I can coil.
You can't coil the statues, of course.
Yeah, so he just
this is just go back, because he also has the healing walls. So you should not fight this.
Okay. And no, the bad Nova. I was like, the Wyverns are almost dying, but not quite. Okay, now you should run, right? That's the last moment. Okay.
Right now, theoretically, you could buy a mana potion and permax one of your heroes and kill it.
Also true. Okay, so as we can see, he has advantage with supply, but we finally got some experience, really not that much. Okay, so he still is favorite because he crept very good in the mid game, and I crept very badly in the mid game. Can we say about that?
Yeah, the early game was fine. Was like a classic scenario. Okay. And now you are in a bad position because you don't have statues. Without statues, you cannot creep. I mean, you can creep, but it's very hard because you don't regen health and mana. So
yes. Okay, so I'm not willing to watch the entire replay, but I'm still not giving up because heroes are my carry, right? Okay, in this situation, should I still, like, now I should follow him because he's creeping, right? But so I can't creep myself. There is like nothing to creep here. So I should
Yes,
follow him.
the only the only thing you can do is to
Mhm.
harass him, even if it's pointless if he plays well.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Francis. Thank you, Mr. Hello, Mr. DBN France. Hello, Mr. Art of Warcraft. And yes, it's Mr. SpyCreed is on SpyCreed. SpyCreed is the coach, and it's set on the bottom left. Okay, Wojtalenko is asking, and hello, Mr. Art of Warcraft. Mr. Art of Warcraft name is Bartek. Hello, Mr. Bartek. Greetings, he's Polish. And yes, Wojtalenko is asking about the armor for gargoyles. Mr. SpyCreed said around 50 supply. We upgrade armor, and when we have one armor upgrade, it's mostly most important for destroyers, Wojtalenko, because destroyer with one armor upgrade can survive two bats, and it's very good for us, right?
Yes.
Do I remember correctly? Healthy
Yes,
destroyer,
yes.
of course. Okay, look at this beautiful Garg position. The back. Okay, so now I have destroyer, and it was not healthy, and we are not trading. And my Death Knight is dead, so it's GG, right?
Yes.
But you know, I was like, it was on
I mean,
stream.
it's not GG because there is always a chance he can mess up.
Yeah,
The supply is similar, but
he got a lot of levels, right? That's the
he got a
problem.
lot. Yeah, nice levels. You lost 2 heroes. If you didn't lose your heroes, but like you lose your army, it's still fine because you are even supply. But if you lose your heroes, then he can just expand at this point.
Okay, because this, like, I have 3 follow-up questions, and first Wojtalenko answered the question. Mr. SpyCreed said that either you break supply and you go 60, or you stay on 50 and then you go free armor upgrades, because when you have free armor upgrades, your Garg can survive a bad detonation. But it depends on the flow of the game. Sometimes you need to break supply to contest camps better and so on, but you never expand and you never push the orc base. You think about those things after entire map is crept. Can we agree on that, Mr. SpyCreed?
Yeah, you should always prioritize creeping, at least in the early stages of the late game. You want to have your Frost Nova level 2, you want to level up.
Okay, so now I have some specific question, okay? Can we talk a little bit about Alchemist? My question is, how to keep Alchemist alive, and how often we use the Acid Bomb, and how often we use this second ability? This
Acid
Chemical
Bomb
Rage?
whenever you can, because it's a cheap spell. You can use it a lot of times, and you should use the second ability when you feel like your hero is gonna die. So since with Alchemical Rage you can move faster, then that's the case to use it. Or if you are actually engaging your opponent and you want to do more damage, of course, because Alchemist can damage air units. It's good to use Alchemical Rage even in an aggressive scenario if you want to
Okay,
be offensive.
okay, so Chemical Rage, because I don't know this skill that well, so let me read it. The Alchemist uses his org to enter a Chemical Rage, increase movement rate by 40% and increasing attack rate. So it doesn't give us servability per se, right? It only makes Alchemist to move faster and attack rate percent bonus. Of course,
Yes.
if we want to run away, that's a good defensive measure to be faster.
Yeah. You can also use it if you want to, like you want to use the acid bomb on clamped units like Wyverns and Batriders, and if you are not close enough, you can use Alchemical Rage and then acid bomb, because you actually use the movement speed to your advantage to get close.
Okay, so let me adjust one thing for you, because you see only Warcraft. So 1 second. So I will share you a screen, not an application. Okay, so now you can see Liquipedia, and the stream can see Liquipedia. Can you see Liquipedia, Mr. SpyCreed?
No, I cannot see it.
Okay, maybe you need to refresh.
Wait a second. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, Mr. SpyCreed fixed his issue with 2 seconds, and it took me 20 minutes to fix my issues. So that's right. With the sound. Okay, so my question is, can we understand the acid bomb skill, because I think it's important. So it's 12 seconds cooldown between like how often we can use this skill, okay? But duration is 15 seconds, and duration I mean is how long secondary damage is being applied, right? Do I understand it? So it's like it will be 15 times 6. So 90 damage for the full duration of acid bomb, the secondary damage, right?
I think it's right. There is of course a dot damage, a damage over time effect.
The secondary damage, that's the dot damage, I presume.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, but
target damage, I think it's similar to no, actually
it's
it's not similar to
It's the first. It's the first.
yeah,
damage.
the first target, and then
every
all the other
second-
units. Also, the primary target gets a dot damage.
Okay, but what I would like to the primary target that dot damage, and secondary target got the secondary damage. Okay. Actually, I need to test it, but not now. But basically, there is no. Basically, if you fight, you spam the ability because you in the worst case, you like a perfect micro. You will lose like 2 seconds only of duration, so it's not important, right? So we can agree that spamming acid bomb is a good idea on density.
Yes.
Because like
you should always use it on Wyverns or Batriders if you can.
So the chat is asking about the skill, but it requires some testing. So I don't want to use Mr. SpyCreed for that. I can do it myself. But the conclusion is we spam this. And the conclusion about chemical rage is to not spam. Only use, as I said, to either run or to chase or to move closer to the orc to move to you cast the acid bomb better, right? But we can't spam it.
No, you cannot spam it.
Okay.
By the way, to answer Wojtalenko, yes, the armor reduction applies to all units that get it from the acid bomb.
Yes, the armor, that's good. Okay, and okay, that was my question about alchemist. Now I have a question, so I will write it down. Acid bomb spam. Okay, let's say we have one invul. Do we always keep invul on alchemist?
No. You keep the invul on leech most of the time.
Really? But do you mean like versus good orcs? But in theory, it's the easiest to kill alchemist, right?
If they focus the alchemist, I mean, it depends on the stage of the game. If the alchemist is level 1, if the orc focuses all his damage on the alchemist, it's better for you because alchemist level 1 has low priority. Like he should focus destroyers. Yeah, he should focus gargoyles, destroyers, statues. If there is a chance to kill an hero, then kill the hero. But never focus like a level 1 hero because it's just I think 140 gold from the altar, and it comes out in quickly. 27 seconds, 30 seconds. I don't remember. So the alchemist has low priority. If he gets to level 3, then he needs, of course, an invul because it's actually a good target to kill. It's better to keep the invul on the leech because many times when you engage the orc, it happens that you use a coil nova offensively to kill a Batrider or Wyvern. So you need to wait 7 seconds for your next coil, and good orcs usually start like Xing the leech, start focusing the leech, and then there is a high chance that the leech is gonna die because you don't have the coil available. The DK is usually the most tanky unit, so
the highest level, yes.
The highest level, the stronger unit, the tankiest unit that you have. So priority goes to, in my opinion, most of the times Leech, DK, Alchemist. Sometimes if you have like periapto vitality on the DK, you can go for Leech, Alchemist, and then Invul on the DK. But yeah, priority to Leech.
Speaking about, we have questions from Mr. Azra. The item management, right? So Alchemist is a strength hero, Death Knight is a strength hero. Do we keep strength items on DK Alchemist, or where, and also where do we put Ring of Protections? Because
Ring of Protection goes on Alchemist because Alchemist has high HP, but he has low armor. It's like the balance for the hero. So if you give him Ring of Protection +4, it's super effective. It's the best hero that you can give Ring of Protection.
Okay.
You usually prefer Periapto Vitality, so it's still a survivability item like this. You always put them on the DK. Gauntlets +3. The +3 strength always on the DK.
Gauntlets on DK and this HP item, like period.
Yes, and the Ring of Protection goes on the Alchemy.
Okay, and what about Glow of Haste? Let's see. I have a Death Knight with an orb. Okay, and +3 strength, and we have Lich with 1 gloves, and that's it. Where do you put Gloves of Haste? It's like a no-brainer.
Gloves still on the Lich.
Okay, so it's like a no-brainer, right? Even though in theory Death Knight can hit harder, right?
Yeah, but the DK usually also has like secondary tasks like
Healing and yes.
Healing. Sometimes
and
he
hitting
needs to run away.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah, sometimes he hits the ground. So it's always better to have it on the Lich.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, hello, Mr. Seiso. Mr. Seiso, finally a stronger undead than Mr. SpyCreed and
hello,
myself. So hello, Mr. Seiso, and we are talking about how to play versus orc that goes wyverns. And Mr. SpyCreed is giving like I have a full Excel sheet with like answers to my questions. So this is my notes from this like interview or coaching. Okay, I have a question as well, Mr. Okay. Let's say we want to construct 50 supply army versus orc that goes the strategy Wyvern, Bats, Farseer, Shadow Hunter. How many destroyers, how many gargs in this late game stage of the game? When we have
like
50
in a 50 food? In a 50
around
supply.
50 food, yes.
It depends on how many goods you lost. So you should always prioritize like a lot of statues. So statues and destroyers, and then you fill with gargoyles.
Okay, but how many statues? Because like let's say I have 3 statues. Do I always morph destroyer already to have only 2 statues on the ground, or I keep 3 statues before morphing and morph during the fight?
You should keep at least 2 statues while you are creeping, so you can restore health and mana. If you know that the opponent is gonna engage soon, like he's close to you, is about to speed scroll, then if you have like 3 statues, I will start morphing 1 statue, because you need to get ready for speed scroll, X, and so on.
Okay, so Mr. Seiso is saying that 4 gargs, 1 statue, rest destroyer in this 50 supply fighting army. How do you feel about that? And Mr. SpyCreed, you are at 2100 MMR undead plus. So be ready to criticize even Mighty Seiso. He's from New Zealand, so he's very nice, right?
Seiso knows better, of course. He's higher
but you can have your opinion. So. Like, for example, on the Polish Parafil University, I will share a little bit of a background story. So Professor Lemes has very strong opinions about how to play versus Orc, and he hates Arcane Tower in front. And I love my Arcane Tower in front, so we can agree to disagree, you know, even though Professor Lemes' MMR is enormous, right, compared to mine. So yes, and I feel stand with my Arcane Tower in front versus Orc. So, but yes, so because I am afraid to overmake Gargs, and I'm thinking about overmaking Destroyers, but Mr. Seiso says 4 Gargs. One statue as destroyer. So it's like it's not wise to keep only 2 gargs. What is your take here?
Yeah. My priority list goes always to destroyers, to statues, to morph into destroyers, because they deal good damage. If Orb of Annihilation, like you dispel the wolves, the X, you get the Orb of Annihilation, it does more damage to units. Like the destroyer, you need to always have destroyer against Farseer Wyverns, X, and so
Okay,
on,
but
and Wolves.
maybe this because the question. So
And then, of course, the rest goes to Gargoyles.
but should we cut gargoyles at some point when we hear like
No.
never?
No. You never cut Gargoyles.
Okay, so what is the reason for keeping gargoyles? It's not having mass destroyer better because like, or it's about the production building
No,
that you
because
have already the crypt and you need to produce from one slaughterhouse and one crypt. But it's still good to have some the gargs in the mix, right?
I think it's still good to have some Gargoyles because they are good against Wyverns. Like he needs to like if he only has Wyverns, Gargoyles are very good because they deal good damage, they suck the damage, they are good against Wyverns, and Wyverns alone are not enough to counter a lot of Gargs because you start using Frost Nova, Acid Bomb, and so on. So he needs to make Path Riders. So you need to do like a mix of Gargs and statues and destroyers.
Okay.
You always keep one statue on the ground for healing. Remember also to like drain the mana from the statues with destroyers to have
When
the
we
Orb of
morph,
Annihilation buff when you morph it. Yeah, the Orb of Annihilation does a
AoE damage.
massive amount of damage.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, another question. How good is Scroll of Healing and Scroll of Protection? Because when I have Gargs, I feel like my Gargs are dying anyway. So the Heal Scroll is like, I have mixed feeling about Heal Scroll and about the Scroll of Protection as well, because it don't buff destroyers, right? Does it? I don't think so.
No, I don't.
Okay, so what do you think about those two items? Do you like skip them, or you buy them only when you have like 70 supply? Like, what is your?
In my opinion, it doesn't like they have not high priority. You should always like on 50 food, 50 food, 60 food. I usually don't buy Scroll of Protection and Scroll of Healing. It depends on the game. Actually, it depends, but I usually prefer to have a lot of units more than buying healing scrolls and Scroll of Protection. I don't know, maybe Seiso knows better.
Yeah, but because like Scroll Protection is very good with Pala Rifle, right? Because with Pala Rifle we have Grand Army usually versus Grand Army.
Yeah, it's good.
We pull back, you know, we get a lot of units on half HP, and then we use Scroll of Protection. But when you play Mass Air versus the bats, they just remove your they are not dealing this damage that you can basically make half of your Gargs half HP, right? Because either Garg is dead or alive because of the power of detonation.
I think it's always better to go for units than scrolls because everything dies so fast when 3-4 Bat Riders splash on Gargoyles and destroyers. It's really hard to time the scroll perfectly. So that, I mean, it's always easier and better to go for units. Then, like if you reach 80 supply of Gargoyles, Destroyer, statues, then I can see, of course, the reason to go for Scroll of Protection, Scroll of Healing. Then in that case, yes. But if you are 50 or 60 food, it's always better to go for upgrades or units.
Okay, so scrolls are not very good. Okay, two more questions. Sometimes I noticed that orcs, when they got like that is like very late game, for some reason orcs are switching into raiders. And have you observed it as well? I saw it in some replay versus Happy.
Yeah, it's to have some lockdown. Yeah, if you want some lockdown, like you want to avoid the kiting from the undead, you go for the raider.
So from your experience, it's not like they're switching like for only raiders. So they will just in the late game they will add like 2 raiders just to ensnare, right? That's your vibe,
yes.
or?
Yeah, it can happen. Yes, and when that happens, it's usually a sign that you need to go for more invulnerability potions because it's gonna be heavy focusing on heroes most of the time.
So, do we make some ghouls then versus those raiders? Or we don't care, and it depends how many raiders and.
It depends on how many raiders. If there are like 2, it's not. It's always like you still go for gargoyle statues destroyers. If he makes like 4 or 5, it never happened to me. But in that case, you can consider ghouls.
I saw a game when it happened to Happy, but it was a long time because it was on Rune Mall, this winter map that was rotated out. So I remember those games like the orc just went into mass raider at some point, So yes.
Was it from the start or like?
No. So it was this pure air. They were fighting, and it was super long game. The main ran out, and orc was basically changing to raiders. I don't know the idea, but I kind of remember this. So versus many raider ghouls, right? Versus who? Remember to buy info, maybe?
Yeah.
Because it means a harder kiting. So heroes can die. Okay, so when we see raider, raiders, bats, wyverns, and heroes, we always coil nova bat riders first, right? But what next? Do we coil nova raiders or we coil nova wyverns? Like, what is the priority? What do you think? If you want to spend our mana on something.
I'm not sure. I will still focus wyverns probably, but it depends. Like if your hero is very low HP, like your DK is very low, and you know that he's going for focus, then you of course want to, you want to kill the raiders because you want to avoid the more snares on your heroes. But if he has a lot of wyverns and just one or two raiders, it's better to kill the damage, like the damage dealers, which are the wyverns. You can still manage the raiders with frost armor, coils, and so on.
Okay. So now is a very rare question, late game question. So let's say entire map is crept. We are in the StarCraft 2 mode. Nobody's expanding. We have our shade scouting. It can happen. Okay. So do we kind of keep army back and maybe we keep one destroyer because sometimes I remember those moves of Happy that he was just trading mana, pulling back. Did you use this strategy sometimes, or you rather just stay AFK in your base and scout, and you only move back when the opponent is doing, the expo, or when you? So what to do?
I don't like to. Yeah, in this scenario, I always try to be aggressive because I want to use my mana to actually gain advantage. Like if I can get my DK and Leech in position to coil off a bat, it's always better because you are trading mana for gold, for actual value. So it's always better to stay aggressive. If he wants to fight, it's fine because you want to fight as well. If he comes to his base, then you just try to destroy buildings that are vulnerable if possible.
Okay,
and if he wants to defend his base, like he's deep in his base and you are trying to destroy the buildings, it's actually good because he will make the micro mistake of moving the wyverns or the bat drivers forward, and then you use frost nova, acid bomb, and so you actually deal some damage, so you cannot engage.
Okay, and we have questions from chat from Mr. Random Watcher. Mr. Random Watcher is asking for a giveaway of Reforged. So yes, I have never heard about this as well. But Mr. Random Watcher, if you want to check some content, you have Build Orders website, and you have my YouTube, and of course there is Grabby, there is Todd, and many more content creators. Mr. SpyCreed, to not keep you too long, it's 2 hours. So. When do we expand? So let's say orc is camping, I'm camping. Do I expand, or as you said, you be aggressive and you never expand, never ever?
I always prefer to go upkeep. I never expand, especially if let's say the Farseer, that is close to level 5.
Yeah, so
you
hard.
should never expand because then if you want to protect your acolytes, you will need at least 2 towers. At least 2 towers. Or one destroyer FK, which is of course bad because it's 5 food. Or you need at least 2 towers. Like one Nerubian is not enough. Sometimes it's not enough to have at least 2 towers. Like if you have one Nerubian and one Spirit Tower, you might still lose acolytes to level 3 wolves.
Yeah.
So the
too
investment
costly.
is too
Yeah.
much. Yeah, the investment is too much for what it's worth.
Okay, so I have to come with the mindset of never ever basically.
You can consider the expansion if
Never. Like why? No point.
there is only one case.
Hmm?
If you know 100% that you cannot destroy the orc base, like
You
the
mean
orc
expansion? Or?
expansion, yeah, if he goes for an
We
expansion, he
camp
goes for a
Expo
lot of
versus
towers.
Expo.
Like he makes 4 towers, 5 towers, 3 towers, and you know for sure that you cannot break. Then you should consider counter expansion and play
And
the late
camping
game.
there.
And play
Camping
the
there.
late game, yeah.
Mhm.
Like while you are doing the expansion, you can be aggressive on his expansion just to keep him there. Like just to waste waste his time and gain some time for your expansion.
That makes sense. If you like scouted and he already has like 4 towers on Expo, a burrow, right? And then like
Yes,
the
exactly.
map is crept and we can just keep him occupied. Hello, Mr. Pookie, or expand. Okay, Mr. SpyCreed. So I have a lot of notes. I will rethink this. I will check some stuff in the trivia, but I would like to highlight one more thing that I think, because like as I said in my title, maybe I feel creative today. But what do we think? And have you ever seen approach like that from an undead that went for banshees in this matchup in the late game? Because like as we know, giving the anti-magic shell protects you from bats, and you can give, as you said, even anti-magic shell on the statue, then morph the statue. So I don't know if it works versus bats or not. But
yes,
what?
anti-magic shell prevents the damage from the
Yeah,
Battle Rider explosion.
there is this bug or whatever that you can have destroyer with anti-magic shell, right? For a moment. So
I don't think so. I don't know about that.
you don't know?
Like you can have anti-magic, you can cast anti-magic
statue?
shell on destroyers.
No, on the
On
statue.
statues. Yes, you can cast it.
Yeah, you told me that, right? So you morph, and then for a moment you have the anti-magic shell, right?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I don't know
Actually,
if it works exactly.
I think it gets removed. Like you have the statue with anti-magic shell, you morph it, and then the anti-magic disappears completely. But if you
I tested it yesterday, but I don't know if it's just a visual bug or it gives you the protection. I need to test. Okay, Mr. SpyCreed, I'm going to try.
Okay.
to learn this. And I have some orcs in the community that can play Farseer, so maybe I'll play versus Mr. Lajuk or somebody else. Thank you for pointing me these strategies. And my proposition is that when I have a decent replay, when I followed your steps, maybe then we can rewatch the replay again, and you will look for even more important parts. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, of course. You can just send me the replay. I will look into it.
Okay.
Yeah, what Razormon is saying is actually true, because the anti-magic shell has a weird behavior where it changes the armor type of a unit.
To which?
If I'm not mistaken, this is a trivia for you.
Trivia, okay.
This is trivia. If you consider like an abomination, you know that the abomination takes twice as much damage from magic, like a griffon, a griffon or chimera. If you give anti-magic shell to the abomination, it changes the armor type into an unknown armor type, where it doesn't get the twice as much damage like it will normally have.
No, but we can think about this like the anti-magic shell has the unknown armor type, right? And when it disappears,
but the unknown armor type like changes the value. Like it gets it doesn't receive 200% damage from magic damage.
So that's good for the anti-magic
Yeah, it's a
shell.
strange behavior. I think it's a bug, but it's the fun of Warcraft.
The fun of war to test, of course. Okay. But you have never seen banshees, right? In this matchup.
In this
versus
matchup, there is two cases. If you are facing Blade Master with Windwalk, and you can consider then in the late game banshees. there is one second case which is very, very rare.
Mhm.
You can go for anti-magic shell on Frostwyrms in the case you are facing Mass Towers expansion.
Mass Tower expansion.
Like if you are
Frostwyrm.
facing expansion with Mass Towers, then you know that the opponent is going for a lot of Path Riders,
And
and
you
in
have a
that
lot of
case,
time,
and
yes.
yeah, you have a lot of time. You go for expansion as well in that case,
Mhm.
and you make anti-magic banshees with anti-magic shell and Frostwyrms with the freezing breath,
Yeah.
and this is the main stronger counter to a lot
Woody
of
Wood.
towers.
To Woody Wood.
The Woody Wood style, yeah.
The Woody Wood counter.
The
Okay,
Woody Wood count.
Okay, Mr. SpyCreed, thank you for that. And you were afraid
Thank you for
about
having me.
your English, and I think your English is like very good. And as you see, we are talking
Thank you
about
very much.
Warcraft, so we know the we know the vocabulary a little bit, and we could understand each other, especially because we are looking at Warcraft 3. So yes, I basically my
We are
plan
gamers.
is we are gamers, yes, elite gamers, and I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to put some effort into even more researching this matchup because I kind of enjoy this matchup, to play. And Wojtalenko is saying that was very nice coaching. Vez is saying thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Razormoon
Thanks,
with
guys.
some witch anime girls, so we are not going there. Mr. Long Jacket with some bueno, so that sounds good in Italian, right? And he was saying thank you. And Mr. Puki Style, who is like a famous Polish LOL streamer, is saying put sex. So yes, thank you, Mr. SpyCreed. I'm going to put this in YouTube because it's like a very, very educational. So thank you.
Okay.
And I'm
Thanks,
disconnecting
guys.
to not keep you longer. And thank you, sir. Very, very
Have a nice
appreciated.
stream.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
thank you. Thank you for watching this video, and I'm trying to grow as a caster, as a journalist, as a YouTuber, influencer, so please, a quick reminder to subscribe on YouTube. Also, as you can see in YouTube video description, you have links to, first of all, my social media. I stream daily, almost daily on Twitch. From time to time, I post some Warcraft related trivia, interesting stuff on Twitter/X. I will try to add some pictures, maybe from Raraland, to my Instagram, or even some content to TikTok. And if you like what I do and you want to support me even more, I just created my Patreon with different tiers, and one of them is actually that I will send you the Makrura card, so check it out. Also, just general donations on PayPal are very welcome, and you can send me an email. And last but not least, look, this is a picture with me on Focus at Raraland. So if you like what I do, check the video description and see you in the next video. Bye bye.